be talking about the customary measurement system. It's what we use in the United States. We're going to be talking about length today. So like inches, feet, yards, and miles. There are some things that we're going to have to memorize. I hate to break it to you, but you will have to memorize some information. The good news is that some of it you've already memorized. For example, you've probably already memorized that there are 12 inches in 1 foot. That's one thing that you'll have to remember and memorize. So write that down in your classwork section. One yard equals 3 feet. One mile. Anybody know how many feet are in a mile? Evan? Feet in a mile, there are 5,280 feet in 1 mile. And there are 1,760 yards in a mile. So those are the 4 big conversions that you're going to have to remember. Now the way that we're going to use these is you're always going to be looking at the conversion. So when we're going from feet to inches or inches to feet, when we're converting between the two, that number right there is going to be what we use as our conversion. When we're converting between yards and feet and yards, that number right there is our conversion. When we're trying to convert between miles and feet and miles, that number is our conversion. Miles, yards, yards to miles, that number is our conversion. Now we just have to figure out, are we going to have to multiply, are we going to have to divide? And this is where the babies come in. Babies love milk. Babies love milk, and little babies drool. Here's how we're going to use it. When you're going from inches to feet, you're starting with a small measurement and going to a large measurement. So when we have 30 inches and we have to convert it to how many feet it is, we're going from little to big. When we go from little to big, we're going to divide. So what you're going to do is you're going to take 30, and because you're going from little to big, you divide. You're going to take your 30 and you're going to divide it by the conversion factor. So this is inches to feet, feet to inches, so we're going to use our feet to inches conversion, which is 12, and that gives us our answer, which is 2.5. Let's look at another one.
Are we allowed to use calculators on the test?
Yep. So I've got 6 feet and I want to convert it into inches. So I'm going to start with my 6 feet. And now I got to figure out if I'm going to multiply or if I'm going to divide. Am I going from big to little, or am I going from little to big? I'm going from big to little. Big to little means I'm going to multiply. So I'm going to take 6 and I'm going to multiply it by our conversion factor. Feet to inches is going to be the 12, so I multiply it by 12, and that gives me my answer, 72. Let's look at another one. if I have 4.5 yards, and I want to convert that to feet. So I've got 4.5, 4.5. Am I going to multiply or am I going to divide? Cooper, what do you think?
Divide.
Why?
Multiply,
Now, why do you say that?
because yards is bigger than feet.
So you're going from big to little? And big to little means we're going to multiply. So big to little means we multiply. And we're going to find our conversion factor, yards and feet. Yards and feet are right here. Our conversion factor is a 3. So we multiply it times 3 and gives us our answer, 13.5. There are going to be some times where the problems get a little bit trickier than this. Here's an example of when they might get a little bit more confusing. Now, it's asking us to go from inches to yards. Do we have a conversion for inches to yards? No, we don't have a conversion for inches to yards. So what we have to do is kind of go, we have to make another conversion. We have to convert inches into feet first and then into yards. So we can take 60 inches, convert that into feet, and then once we have it into feet, then we can convert it into yards. So it's an extra little step, but luckily we don't have to do this very often. So we're going to take our 60, we're going from inches to feet, so we're going from little to big, so we're going to divide. Inches to feet conversion is 12, we'll divide it by 12, and that gives us 5. So 60 inches is the same as 5 feet. So we can replace 60 inches with 5 feet. And now we can figure out how many yards it is. We're going to start with our 5 yards. We're going from feet to yards, so we're going from little to big, so we're going to divide again. And our feet to yards conversion is 3, so we divide it by 3, which gives us the answer 1.6 repeating.
Awesome.
The line over top of the 6's means that those numbers are repeating. It's a repeating symbol.